Hey guys, gonna get some of my products ready for you guys so you can watch it. A few products I use. Let me just kind of shrink this up so I can actually see you guys. There we go. Hey, just trying to get all my products together that I need for this video. So I got my 5.5 gallon tanks yesterday. So just wait for some more people. Hey, how you doing? Let me keep on getting some more stuff together. That's around valves. Just making sure I have enough valves. I count my valves. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. 6 on the button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So how I end up just setting this up, I got to crouch down because I got this kind of low. I like using one air pump that runs everything in my system, and I use 3/4 inch PVC. What I like to use is they have some self-tapping. Right there. Self-tapping nickel-plated valves from Gemco, which I'll have the link down below. And the product link for it on there. They make these themselves. So if you start looking at some of the different valves that are out there, some of the valves that they have in there are steel plated. And what happens is there's a spring right here. And what happens is as time goes by, that rusts out and it breaks. And then you have no control over how much flow goes in the tank. So I've always used the Gemco nickel-plated valves. I got just enough for this one, so I'm going to put them up there. My friend Jeremy's got the drill gun, so I'll have to go get the drill gun later on that one. I'm in need of 10 5-gallons. I bought a lot. I got a lot here at the store. If you're up in Minnesota, I might sell some this coming weekend and stuff. All right, so what I did so far, and I kind of let you know, so I have a lot of the Carradina tanks. So Carradina tanks, they come in 2 different types of color for soil. You need the active soil for it. So let's just get down to the basics on here. So what we do for, I need a chair almost. What we do for the Carradinas is we like to have a mid-6 pH with a GH of 4 to 5 with no pH in there. So to achieve that, you need RODI water and you need an active substrate. Now, an active substrate allows your water to buffer down to mid-6, sometimes lower 6, depends on the product out there. But the trick behind it is you can't use any tap water. If you use tap water, it has KH in there, which is carbon hardness. Carbon hardness keeps your tank at a stable pH on there. So by having KH in your water, it doesn't allow the substrate to buffer down. Now, it might buffer down a little bit, but then as time goes by, it's going to deplete the whole buffering compound, and then what happens is the shrimp are going to start dying from failed molts. I decided yesterday I was supposed to get these tanks a while back. What happened is they couldn't get them. It took a while for them to get them, so I finally got them yesterday. So what I'm doing is I had a bag of Brightwell Rio Cafe F. I had a bigger bag. What happened is, I'm sure he's watching. One of my customers went over and bought a bag and threw it over his shoulder and broke the seal on it. So I had a spare bag. Now, Brightwell Products is a great product out there. So Shrimp King, so is SL Aqua. There's a lot of good products out there. It's a buffering soil is a buffering soil. But the problem you end up having is when you start going to products that I don't like saying the names on there, that when you add the water to it, they start breaking down. It looks kind of mushy and everything. They're not going to buffer down. So I've had some soils last me a good few years. But in theory, what you do is you keep on testing your water. Periodically, if all of a sudden it starts losing the buffering components, what you end up doing is you just change out your soil. So some people change out their soil 100%. Some people go over and put a sprinkling on there, a fresh soil to get it buffering down there. So what I did is I changed this to all the tanks that has the bright wall on there. So some soil is black and some are like a light brown. Light brown works really good if you're doing like orange eye royal blues because you just can't see them in the tank otherwise. So I decided to do that. So what I end up doing, let me get my RO ready, is I put roughly about a ½ inch of soil on the ground. It just kind of works. Usually right up to the black lip on there. Hey, good to see you too, Alan. Yeah, been a long time, Alan. So what I'm going to do is what I have a tendency to do is I use different products out there, and I use what works for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of RO water to each one of the tanks that I have. So I have my little nifty little fill thing. I put a little spout on there so it doesn't splash. And I put roughly I'd say about an inch worth of water in here above the soil. That's kind of what I've always done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add bacteria, and I want the bacteria to get through the soil. So by doing this, it allows the bacteria to go through the soil, and I usually wait a little bit, but I can do some other stuff while I'm doing this. I am going to use a seeded filter to put in my tank. On here, I am going to be open. Tomorrow is my grand reveal of the aquarium store. So, yeah, it's just a matter of it's a lot of work, guys. So as you see, I'm putting I'm putting water, RODI water into these tanks, getting about an inch in there, and then I'm going to start adding my bacteria and kind of let the bacteria go through. Each tank is going to have its own variety. So, yeah, if you're in Minnesota, swing by tomorrow. I'm going to be doing my grand reveal. I'm going to have a barbecue here as well, which everybody likes food, so it's free food. I'm going to run a special. I haven't decided on the special. I got some other products that kind of came in yesterday. I got some artwork from one of the local artists up here, Nori Vossen. If you guys ever gone to Aquashella, Nori is the artist that does the drawings of shrimp and fish. So she brought a bunch of her artwork so I could have it here at the store. I am going to probably move these medium grades over to this tank as I'm letting everything go. It's just one of those things I got a little bit of OCD. So I need to have the black next to the black, otherwise it's going to start bugging me. But I'm going to get a little bit of water, pull one tank off, slide it down, and we're all good. I'm using Phoenix HLC lights on these tanks. They've always worked really well for me. So, yeah. And then I have Danny coming later on, and we're going to get the names of all the shrimp. I got the Neocaridines over here. So congratulations on the new store, man. I wish I could be there for the grand opening. It's not a grand opening yet. So it's a reveal. So the grand opening is when I have everything in place. When I get the rest of the Aquascape tanks here, when I get my live well or my live tank. I just got off the phone with Will Mace. If you guys haven't followed him yet, please follow him. He's on Instagram, YouTube. He just hit the $1 million subscriber on YouTube, got his plaque. If you guys watch previous videos, he's opening up a zoo down in Florida. I went down there, stayed at his place. So, yeah, he's going to be doing a lot of stuff here at the store as well with certain aquascapes. I'm going to have other people up here as well. So, right now, I added the soil. I'm adding the water to it. I'm going to put the bacteria in there. So, I'm going to kind of show you as soon as I get this last tank with water in there. Perfect. So as you see, each tank, probably hard for you to see right here, each tank's got roughly about an inch of water above the soil. So that's enough for me to get the bacteria going in there. So let me get this last one, kind of some water in there, and then I'll show you what I use for the bacteria in these smaller tanks. If you guys have questions, just ask the questions away. All right, perfect. And hang this tube back up. All right, so as you see, every tank has water in there. Okay. Pardon me. Hey, Victoria, how you doing? All right, so there's a lot of different types of bacteria out there. Okay, Fritz has bacteria. So Aqua has bacteria. Brightwell has bacteria. Shrimp King has bacteria. I kind of use everyone in different types of places and stuff. What I have a tendency to do, and I got introduced to it a while back, was Protobio. Protobio is the bacteria that I use. Now, the reason why I use this one is I put a lot of shrimp in there, and I want baby survival immediately. And I'm sure the other products do just as well, but through the time that I've been doing this, I've always kind of used something like this, and it's always worked for me. So my concept is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm going to kind of do this version on it. Now, I am using a seeded filter, so it's going to go a lot faster as well. As you see in the last video, I do have Neocaridines in the tanks from doing it this way. It's in there. So I'm going to open up my bacteria kit soil. So it's bacteria kit soil. Kind of pop it open. Bloop. There's two different colors of vials here. And I might have shown some other ones. See the two different colors? We have Bacter soil. Let's see here, Bacter soil. And then the other one is Nutrisoil. Okay. So each one is rated for 15 gallons. So each set. So this set right here is good for 15 gallons. Now, I'm only doing 5.5 gallon tanks. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to kind of like, I'm going to break it down for 2 tanks, not 3 tanks. I'm going to do 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up these vials and do a half in each one. So I have my trusty little garbage over here. So it's a matter of you just break the tip off. Set this here so I don't drop it. Turn it upside down. So what I do is I kind of go over and I break it. I have my finger over the end and I kind of break it. And then I flip it back over, see right here, and I do like half a vial. There, put a half a vial in there, go to the next tank, I put the other half. Okay? So that bacteria is in there, drop the vial in there. Okay? Get the other tank going, break one side, put the finger over the end, break the other side so it doesn't go over and drain out. Half a vial. Other half in here, drop the vial. So I drop the vial in there. You don't have to drop the vial in there. I do it because when people ask me at my store, hey, is that a battery in there? I'm like, no, it's the bacteria I use, and then of course I can sell it to them. But then it also lets me know which tanks I put which products in where I ended. So as you see, it's every other one. So then in the other vial, which is these right here, I'm going to put it in the other one. Now, what I have a tendency to do is I wait 30 minutes. So I put this in here, wait 30 minutes before it allows the bacteria to go in there. So I'm just going to kind of move a couple tanks over while we're just kind of sitting here. If you guys have questions, please, thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. So I want this. So this is the low-grade blue bolts. I'm going to put the medium-grade blue bolts next to them. So what I want to do is I want to pull out this tank, set it on the ground, pull up this tank, set this on the ground. Move this light, and swing it to the side, and slide this over so it doesn't fall. There we go. And then I'm going to unplug this air. And slide this tank over. Where I want it. Make sure it's equal, because otherwise it's going to bug my OCD. I don't think, oh man, it's got enough airline. There we go. Put the airline back in there. Works pretty good. All right, now I'm going to put the brown tanks in there. Make sure they're evenly spaced. There we go. Now, what I use for the tops, and you guys can see the tops, I use polycarbonate tops, and you can buy the polycarbonate tops in many different places. Now, I have a tendency, I buy mine at Menards, and then what happens, you may not have Menards, it's a local little hardware place around here. I don't know if it's in the Midwest or nationwide. Menards offers 11% rebate on it, so the polycarbonate boards, they come in 2 different sizes. They have 6 millimeter, and I do believe they have 10 millimeter. Now, if you use the 6 millimeter, what happens is you're going to end up paying for a 4x8 sheet about $90. So, but if you go over and you go to the 10 millimeter, so this right here is 6 millimeters. See how small those holes are? Which is fine and dandy. But if you end up going to 10 millimeter, which is a little bit bigger, it's half the price. Glass cuts light 10%. Polycarbonate board, as long as you keep it clean, cuts it 10% too. So yes, you can buy glass tops for these aquariums. The problem you end up having is when you had a glass top on here, when you try and open it, it hits this glass. Now, as a store, it's a lot easier for me to slide it off and then put it back in place to stop the evaporation. That's what I do. You guys can do anything you want. So, all right. So I moved all that. I'm going to get the tanks kind of like positioned how I want them. Just so it makes common sense to me. If it makes dollars, it makes water. That's what my 15-year-old employee says. Most people say if it makes dollars, it makes sense. I said, if it makes dollars, he goes, it makes water. So we got that all in there, got that all positioned, got the two Finix 36-inch lights. It's a 72-inch rack right here that I bought from Menards. And the Finix HLC lights, as you see, kind of makes the tanks look nice and crisp and clear. So I'm going to allow this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do simplistic aquascapes as time goes by. It just seems like it works really well. I know I'm going to have to probably tune my light a little bit, because when the light is sitting directly on top, I'm getting more algae growth, which is fine for shrimp. I mean, they love algae growth. I like a clean tank. So I'm going to go over and get this. I'm going to go with some seeded filters, put the seeded filters in there. So if you guys want to kind of chill out and whatever, I'm going to start grabbing some seeded filters and bring them in here. I got to grab my bucket. And then I can take you to the next step. So sit there and talk amongst yourselves. I'm still here. I got to scoop a couple shrimp out of stuff, so give me a second. Where are my steps to? So I'm back. I grabbed 3 seated filters. This is what I have a tendency to do. Is I grab the seated filter, I peel off any moss or anything that's on there that I just don't want. I did not squeeze these out, but what I do is I go to the new tank and I squeeze out all the extra little bacteria that's in there. It gives a little extra boost. Okay. And then that's the tank I'm going to put that one in. I need to grab some more, but I thought I'd come back and squeeze out the extra little bacteria juice on here. Now, what I do is when I do my water, when I set up my tanks, I let them go. And I let them get the bacteria count up super high, and then I do a water change right before I add shrimp. Now, there's a lot of different ways out there when people say, hey, you need to do a water change this day and a water change this, which is fine, 100%. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's the wrong way to do it. I just do stuff the way that I do it because it's kind of what I do. It's kind of like my OCD. Victoria, let's see. Hey, let me just go back up to the top and kind of get these messages. Okay, Shrimp Mafia, thank you. Please, thank you, button, thank you. Wish I was there. Me too, Victoria. You know, it's fun hanging out with you. If you guys haven't seen her, you guys got to follow her on her Instagram. She go on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. She's got everything. And then what? Brian says, hey, Joe, I have a buried Amano in my tank. How hard would it be to raise those babies? All right, you need brackish water for – I got to scoot down. You need brackish water for your Carradinas. Or I'm sorry, for your Amano. Sorry. So usually what you do is you figure out when you got the pregnant female on there when she gets pregnant. And you figure between 25 and 30 days. Usually right when they release, you have to know when they release, or you do it right before they release. You put them in a brackish water tank. And what happens is they're not shrimpettes yet, or shrimpets, or whatever you want to call them and stuff. They're in the larvae stage. So you keep them in a brackish water tank, and then as they start progressing on to a shrimpette, then you transition them back to a freshwater stage. So this is why a lot of breeders, we just don't breed Amanos or gold shrimp. It's just it's a lot of work. It's a lot of takes that you have to figure out. So happy to see everyone here. Thank you, Victoria. It's Friday. Yes. Victoria's like, I just got Amano shrimp. It's my first go at them. Wish I had advice from you. Hey, Amanos like soft water or hard water. So here's the thing though, no heater. All your shrimp, don't put heaters in the tanks. If you put heaters in the tanks, keep them below 76. Put them at 72. At 76 degrees, there's a disease called muscular necrosis. It's when the bacteria, which starts forming, and it forms underneath the shell of the shrimp, and when it molts and dies, because it will molt and die, another shrimp eats at the dead carcass or at the molt, they get it as well. Now, you can pull the heater out. So I tell people, turn the heater down, pull the heater out. There's no heaters in any of my tanks. You can treat for this disease. If the shrimp has it, though, it's got it. It's done for. But how you treat it in the tank is you shut your filtration off. Okay, either unplug the hang-on back filter, pull the freaking the sponge filter if you want. Then you treat with peroxide, 8 milliliters per 10 gallons. Okay. Peroxide is H2O2. That's what the chemical compound of peroxide is. You wait 30 minutes, and what happens is the H2O2 turns to H2O, which is water, and then you can plug back in your filtration system. That's how you deal with that. But take your heaters out. All right. Here, this is it. Thanks. I know it's a tedious because the larval stage needing salt water. Yeah, brackish water, 100%. Boy, I need a brackish water tank. Wash hands. Boy, I need a brackish water tanks. Wash hands. Let's see here. Going back up here. Every time someone messages, gets on there. Good job on the store. Excited for the soft opening Saturday. Me as well. Joel Shrimp Shack on Facebook. There it is right there. People are still messaging. Elbow cough. Elbow cough. Elbow. Yeah. I'm on Twitch as well. Yep. Perfect. So in theory, this goes about a half hour on there. I just want to kind of get you guys going what I do and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start adding this water in this tank. I still have to do the filtration system. So what I'm going to do is, if you end up getting your filtration system from Gemco, that's the little valves like this. You can buy them on Amazon. The problem you have on Amazon, those are the steel ones, and they're not self-tapping. So then you have to get a tapper and you have to tap it. So I just like the convenience stuff. I just order from Gemco. I think they're like $1 a piece, something like that. I'll put the link, later on today. I'll put the link on here on this. But that's what I use. So then it's a 3/16 screw hole I do in my 3/4 inch PVC, and then I self tap it, run it down here. So now I'm going to fill the tanks up on here. And the next project, the next step they have, we got 2 more steps. We got forgot. So now that I'm filling, I'm going to put a little more extra neutral soil in there. It's the second vial for the set that I end up doing. So there's 2 sets for the soil. So then I put a half of one in here, another half in here, and drop the vial. You don't have to. I do it. This is what I do. Don't make fun of me. Then every tank that I have has a vial in there. So as you see, I'm going reverse from how I had it. So before I went over, I put a half a vial here and then dropped this vial on this one. I just did the reverse opposite side on that one. And then I'm done with the Bacter Kit soil. So that's ProtoBio. I have it on my website too. Each set of vials is 15 gallons. All right, the next step after this fills is startup. So what's good about this startup is I sell it by the sets, and I also have the bigger vials too. So just message me if you want the bigger ones for more tanks. It's a 2-step process. Once again, we have the biodigest, which starts the cycle. And then we have stop ammonia. They're clearly marked on there. Okay. So what they advertise is you can literally go over, add this in the tank, wait 6 hours, and you can put shrimp in there. Livestock, fish, whatever. Now, I can contest that back when Facebook was allowing you to buy and sell shrimp on auction sites and stuff like this, I always overbought shrimp. And then what happened is I needed tanks set up. So then I went to Petco, and that's where I got all my 2.5s. I buy the 2.5 gallon tanks, and then I would literally use this, and the shrimp were in my bag, and I would wait 5 hours after I put a seeded filter in there as well too. And guess what? I had baby survival. That's my biggest. That's why I continue to use this one. And I know there's a lot of bacteria out there, and every bacteria is beautiful and healthy, and I love it all. It's just, let's say I have boas come, okay, and a female's pregnant. I want baby survival. Yes, should I have a tank set up ahead of time? 100%. But everybody knows, we all know, we're addicts here. So when you have addicts, you start setting up more tanks, and sometimes you get stuff and you just don't have a tank for it, so you want to set it up fast. As a store, I get asked all the time, can I buy seeded water from you? Can I buy a seeded filter from you? Yeah, you sure can, but definitely I'm going to go over and say you got to get this too. So, all right, this is filling up right here, and then we'll start putting in other tanks, and then I have to get 3 more seeded filters and put it in here. So we're going to let this kind of fill up. I'm going to go steal 3 more seeded filters. This is going to take some time. So give me a second, guys. Take 3 more filters. I'm back. You thought I was in a flood, didn't you? All right, so I grabbed 3 more seated filters. What I'll do is on those other tanks that I pulled these filters from, I'll just put brand new filters in there. I'm not worried about it going through a cycle, through the concept of it's already a cycle tank. All right, so getting off all this extra algae that I want. All right, so those 3 guys. So now I'm going to put this one in here, squeeze out the old bacteria, so I get a little extra boost. Put my sponge in there. Now, I use these dual sponges, which are beautiful. I love them. Due to the fact that if I want to start a new tank, I don't have to take the whole filter. I can just grab one filter. But I kind of have a tendency, I just grab the whole thing. That's what I do. Now, these smaller ones, they're the XY 2831s. Now, the XY 2831s are actually ranked up to, I think, a 5-gallon tank. And then they have the XY 2822s, which are ranked to go even more. Yes, I know, guys. I'm watching it. Everybody's all like, he's going to flood. Not so much. I kind of like very aware of that's what I'm doing right now. So now if I was doing 2 more things on top of it, yeah, I'd 100% flood the store. All right, last one. Squeeze the filter out. Boom. In this filter. Boom. Get that done. All right. So here's the next step. Tank is full. Usually I have the filtration going in there. Now I do the startup. Same concept with the startup. They're ranked for 15 gallons on there. So I just kind of open it up, grabbing the light vial, and open it, crack it, put the other one, do half of one, put in the other tank, drop in, boom, done. And then it's the same as like doing the dark one. Oh, see, that one had a little bit too much, so that's fine. I'll just add a little bit more on this one. I ain't worried about it. I got a lot of them. So then I just kind of go over here to the next set of tanks. And then keep the vials in there just reminds me that there's stuff in there. It's already done. It goes pretty fast. I'll put the links for all this too, so you guys know. All right. Now my next step is getting the TDS rate. So I tell people 115 to 130 for the TDS. Hey Joe, hoping you're liking the new play. Let's see. Hold on, let me go up to the top and see all this. Are you going to the AGA? I'd love to see you hanging. I haven't decided yet on AGA because here's the thing. Aquashella is right after AGA, and I have to be for Aquashella there on Wednesday. So it's a matter of like, and I'm only 5.5 hours. So I have to decide if I go there for that weekend and then stay until then or what. I haven't decided yet. Hey, Joe, hope you're liking the new place. I'm liking the new one. I'm doing the banquet. Let's eat, Joe. Whoop, food. I'm a foodie. Now, I will say this, guys. I went to the state fair yesterday, ate a bunch of my garbage. But guess what? I still lost 2 pounds. So I weigh myself every day, and I still lost 2 pounds. All right, so let's get this. So the next thing I do is I got to remineralize it. So I'm trying to remineralize it to 115 to 130, which is GH of 4 to 5 and no KH in there. This has just GH. So this works good for smaller tanks. I love it in the smaller tanks. It does use a lot right at first. I'm going from 0 up there. So here's the thing. If I take this and I test this water right now, it's at roughly about 8. And I think if I stir it and get the bacteria going around, if I kind of stir it, get the bacteria all circulated in here, usually just the filter's going to do it. If I do this, Then it's still at 8. So I know if I do 115 to 130, I'm going to probably go for about the 120 mark right now. That's kind of what I want to go do. All right. So when you first use this, it's going to take a lot of product to go in there to get it up. Now, when you put it in, it gives this little white look to it, which is completely fine. Kind of mix it around. I love the TDS meter. I mean, yes, you should know your chemicals in your chemicals in your water, and you should know everything about your water. But once you start doing it so many times, it's a convenience thing. All right, so we're at 66 after I stirred it up. All right, keep on going. 66. That should be right there. Kind of mix it around. Normally, I take the proper time for it, but we're doing a video here. All right, mixed it around. It's at 110. All right, I'm going to do like one extra pump. I'm trying to get it to 120. Now, everybody says, well, how much do you put in there? What does the instructions say? Now, if you actually read the instructions, it actually says 124. Perfect. So the instructions on here says, I'm going to find it. I think it says on here, oh, here it is. I go to the next one. Instructions. To increase the GH gauge, so it says add 2 pumps equal to a pump to every per 10 US gallons, but it says until desired. So that's the thing is a lot of instructions when you read it, it'll say add 2 pumps per 10 gallons. Okay? So people would only put 2 pumps or 1 pump in here because it's only a 5.5. But it says on there, and people, that's the thing, is people get tricked up on certain words. As desired. Now, they don't know what as desired, so they don't know what we're trying to achieve. That's the big thing. So what's happening is we need to go over and put in to what we want. That's the one thing I want to teach you guys is on here at least, is when you read instructions, it literally says dose up to 4 milliliters, 2 pumps if equipped with a pump, Caridina GH plus per 10 US gallons per hour until desired GH TDS value is attained. So it doesn't mean add 1 pump. It means as desired. So we're setting up a new tank, and this is kind of how I do it. You know, so it's like, let's count how many it takes to actually get this at a 5.5. Keep in mind, you shake this up really well because the minerals will settle on the bottom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try 7 pumps. Okay, we're going to mix this up. Look at that nice milky color. That's all the minerals in there. So I'm going to mix it up. All right, that's 7 pumps. 7 pumps put me at 103. So let's try one more pump. There we go. One more pump is 8 pumps. Okay, let's do this. Check this out right here. 125. Perfect. So that's 8 pumps. Now, does that mean that this tank is going to take 8 pumps? Pretty close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So around 8 pumps is roughly what it is. I'm going to allow the water to kind of mix this up. Okay. So we know it's going to be at least 7 and 8. Okay, let's do 7 in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because we know at least it's going to take this much to get it close. There. Then I shouldn't have to mix that much. Okay. And then what I do is I periodically continue checking. 128, 122. So I think it's going to be somewhat close. And then what's going to happen is I got to get the airline all run up here. I got to get the holes drilled. So I got that. Let's see if there's any other questions. If you do come out early, we can hit up some cool spots in Chicago for food. Oh my God, there's a spot. I don't know the name of it. It's pretty close to the Victoria. It's pretty close to the Schaumburg one. Eric and I kind of phoned it out. It's like this Mexican barbecue place, but if you get the chicken barbecue burrito, oh, I'm a foodie, man. It was awesome. All right. Thank you, Monster Fish Gal. What TDS meter do you use when by meaning to get one to figure out exactly my hour? All right, perfect. All right. So there's a lot of TDS meters out there. Okay, a lot. You can buy them on Amazon and everything else. Now the Amazon ones can be a little bit deceiving. So I use a TDS meter that you can calibrate. So I use the TDS-3. On the back, you can calibrate it with the screw. Now some of the ones on Amazon, when you purchase them, it says that it calibrates, but when you get it, let me try and turn. You see that? There's a screw in there that you can calibrate. The ones in Amazon will look the same, like same color and everything, 100% same color. It may not say TDS-3, but it'll have the same casing. It'll say calibrate on there. And then when you get it and you look in there, there's no calibration screw. Now, does it come 100% calibrated? 100%. What this is for is, if the batteries last about a year and a half, something like that. Every once in a while, it might get uncalibrated. I tell people this is a computer part in there. Don't throw it down. It gets uncalibrated. Then you can buy some calibration solution, put it in there, and you can calibrate it. I do sell this on my website. I do believe I sell it for $19.99 on there. I love this. It works really good. Love it. Comes in a little case. I probably go through like 3 of these a year. Don't over dip it. So when you do it, just put it up to like right about here. I know you can go up to this little dot they show here, but ideally I just put it up here because here's the probe. Right? Let's check this out. Here's the next tank. By putting 7 in there. So we're still filling. And then it has the so these right here actually have a temp gauge as well. I carry some that don't have the temp gauge as well, but it's like a 50-cent difference. That's all it is. So when they have these in stock, I just wholesale these directly from the manufacturer. And then if they don't have these, I get the blue ones, which has the calibration screw in there. It just doesn't tell the temp on there. I never do the temp because I have room temperature tanks. So yeah, I open up tomorrow. Gonna have a barbecue here. I'm super excited. My dad's gonna man the grill. Y'all want to come out here? I got hot dogs. I got some of my Hmong friends coming. We're gonna bring some Hmong sausage, and I'm just gonna keep on going. Now the Carradinas are not gonna be 100% out there. I got the Neocaridines out, but I got a bunch of Carradinas in back. So, hey, thank you. There's for the TDS meter right there. I know I charge a flat rate of shipping of $17. What I kind of tell people is like, yes, I have a flat rate of $17 for shipping. But what I do is whatever product you order, I figure out what the shipping is, and then I accommodate for that. So if you bought just the TDS meter, shipping's only going to probably cost, because I put this in a padded envelope, it's probably only going to cost like $3 or $4. So then what I do is I say, hey, either I'll refund the other $3 or $4. I'll give you free product to make up that other amount. That's kind of what I've always done for my shipping practices. Some people just like, oh my God, Joe charges $17 for shipping. I don't know. You might order wood, you might order rocks. I have no idea. So it's a flat rate. It's a convenience thing for me. I know I could go over and just put shipping per one, but it starts getting more detailed for me as a store. So all right, we're gonna do the next one and check out what 7 did. So this tank was 7 pumps. So we're at 80, 81. Let's double check. Shut it off, turn it back on. That's 0. Put it back in there. Read the digital readout. It says 81. A couple more pumps in there. You see how everything's a little bit different, but at least we have a base amount. I gotta find my. See, I set stuff down. There it is. Mix it all up. Check this tank over. I'm always constantly checking tanks. 119, 125. Probably do a little bit more on this one. 122, and it's going down as it circulates. I'm just going to give it a partial squirt. I give it a partial squirt. Check this one, 125, 121, close enough. Yeah, but yeah, this is kind of how I set up my Carradina tanks, guys. All right. All right. What TDS? That was the one I did. When my RODI filter needs replacing. So what I tend to do is like if you have an RODI system like I have, And I can bring it back and I can kind of show it to you. I did a video of how I set mine up. If you have it in a brute system where you have a float valve, so what happens is with the float valve, it fills up the bucket, lifts the float valve up, and then it shuts off the produced water. So what happens is it backfills the DI canister, and when it backfills the DI canister fills full of water, and then there's on top of your RO system, if you have like a bulk reef one, they have this round one, which is a pressure switch. So what happens when the pressure builds up, because as you fill up a canister, the pressure builds up, it shuts off the product water of making water. So what happens is your DI canister fills up, and what happens is you can have the DI, it's a color changing DI, can actually start changing colors. Now, it doesn't mean that your DI is exhausted. So I always base it on the TDS meter. So I change out mine quite a bit just because the water here is bad in Plymouth here. I tell people if your DI, if it's coming in at like 16, it should come in roughly 12 to 16 on there prior. If you have the inline TDS meter, and then come out at 0. It's usually at like 1 or 2. That's when I change it out. As the max is at 2. But yeah, when it gets 2, I start changing it out. All right. So yeah, just got here. So the soil that I'm using, and this one for the brown is the Brightwell Flooring Rio Cafe F. So you got F and you have XF, which is just the size of the granules. I have, like, this is Protobile. I have Protobile. I have Shrimp King products. I have SL Aqua. I'm out of SL Aqua at the store right now. But I have all the other ones. The reason why I'm using the Brightwell is they sponsored me a few bags. And also, I had one bag that was already open. So, filling this all up. That's my job today as I'm getting these tanks going. Let me give you a little tour of the place that's going right here. Sure, kind of show what's going on. Give you a little sneak peek tour, unplug it. All right. It's got half full, so I got to kind of keep track of it. All right, so I got a bunch of tanks. Little 5.5s. These are Aqua Japan tanks, which in theory, the Aqua Japan tanks, if you look at it, it's nice. It's a beautiful rimless. To my voicemail. Can you guys definitely hear me? I'm getting tons of phone calls. All right, so you got the Aqua Japan 15.6. You have the 13.3, the 7.4, the 5, and the 3.5. I love these tanks. They're ultra clear on here. Do they have the mitered corners? They don't have the mitered corners, but if you look at the Aqua Japan tanks, I'm sorry, the UNS, which is right here. So if you look at this, so this is one that has a mitered corner. You still see glass. And now if you look at that and you come back over here, you can still see it. So UNS is a great marketing ploy with the whole mitered corners and everything else. But I mean, if you're looking for a great tank, let's look at this. The 15.6 gallon tank, 15.6 price. $100. $100 for a 15-gallon tank. Please double check on the UNS tanks on how much UNS 15-gallon tank costs. Guarantee it's over $100, right? This is the JBJ wall. So I moved my one show tank over here. These are going to be professionally aquascaped by people. And I'm going to have more of the JBJ. I got the Kessel lights here. People keep on sending me messages and stuff. It's lagging because people keep on calling me. So if you're watching me, guys, please don't call me when I'm doing a live. And then I have all the products that I have. I got this. I got noise paintings. So those are actually little scam arcs. The scam, you know, you get those scam alerts and stuff. Now they're sending me on the WhatsApp messages and stuff. So as you see, I got Nori's paintings here. I got Nori's information. She's selling all her artwork here. I have it online. It's hard because when it's online, there's so many different variations. And I only can post so many variations. So it's best in the store. And I can always, like, if you guys are interested, I can show some of the stuff. I got my live plants over here, which I need more live plants. Hey, there's my buddy Will's snake pictures. Got my Pokemon. Gotta have my Pokemon. Got my fish over here. They should be coming in today. Same as plants. Let me check my tank so I don't flood it. Y'all thought I was getting a flood. All right, start filling the next tank. How often do you feed your Caridina and how much? All right, perfect question. So how I feed my Caridina is I have a bunch of different products that I use. All right. I use Shrimp King Baby. So this is the bigger container for the breeders and stuff. I have them on my website. It's like a 40 gram or 45 gram one. I just use a lot. So I have Shrimp King Baby. And right now, what I have open is the Shrimp King Complete. It's a great product up there. I do spinach powder too. So what I have a tendency to do is I do 2 pellets a week. So I base it on how many shrimp are in the tank. So I do believe each pellet is rated for 20 shrimp. But the thing is if they're scavengers and they're eating other stuff in the tank, they're not going to consistently eat that whole entire pellet. So I let the pellet sit there for like 3 to 4 hours, and then I scoop out what's left. And then I do a small pinch of baby. I'll show you how much I end up using. Let me find my scooper. It's in this tank one. Yeah. Nope, that's not the right one. Gotta find it. I have a small little one. Let me just opening up containers as with one arm. That doesn't have it either. Let me go in the back. I have it around here someplace. There it is. Had to find the product. All right. So I have a small little scooper right here. Small little one. And this says it is... Gotta read it. My eyes are getting bad. Eyes are getting bad, everybody. It's like a small pinch. It doesn't really say how many milliliters it is. Oh, here it is. It is 0.15 cc's. So that's what I use. So what I'm going to do is, I'm also, since this is going right here too, and I got bacteria in there, I'm not going to put shrimp in there today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a small sprinkle. Let me just turn my camera around. Let's see here. More. Settings. Settings. Camera. Back camera. Back camera. All right, perfect. So I got the back camera right here, guys. Going to kind of flip this back over. There we go. So what I do is I have a product I like using. It's called Magic Powder. Everybody knows the Magic Powder from SL Aqua. What I do is I put a small dash in the tank to get some to feed the bacteria. You don't have to do it with this product, but this is something that I've always kind of consistently always done. So if I've done this before, why would I change it? If the wheels ain't broken, don't change the tire. So it's getting a little bit more for the last tank. And I also have this on my website too. Boom. Put this back in. And it gets a nice biofilm look to it. I kind of find a tank that has one in there that's after about a week what's happened. Let's see if I can go up here. So if you kind of look, like I got biofilm growing on the stuff that have no shrimp in the tanks. Oh, there's zebra booties. I love my zebras. All right. So let me show you some of the livestock that I have. You know, so I got some Bloody Marys. I got my breeding colonies back. These are tons of Amanos. That one doesn't have anything. That one doesn't have anything. Oh, here's those Panda Loaches. God, I love my Panda Loaches. Got my pumpkins. I got, let's see here. Oops. Don't want to dump things over. There we go. I got to feed these guys tomorrow. Got some red rillies. I got where's all my orange rillies? Orange rillies. I got my black rillies. I got some blue dreams in here. PFRs. I got tons of stuff. My high grade green jades. You know, it'll be tough to see in there. My snowballs. So, but yeah, I got like tons of stuff. And then what happens is, you know, it's like I got to put another leaf in this one and clean the tanks. Got my Carradinas over here. Just go back to change my camera. Settings. Camera. Front camera. Boom, boom. Perfect. All right. Preference between SL Aqua and Brightwell. Tough. You know, here's the thing is back when Eric Martin's, which was Disco Bees, brought SL Aqua in. He promoted SL Aqua a lot, and a lot of people love SL Aqua, 100%. And then what happened is another company, when Eric stopped carrying the product, however means that it happened. I'm just trying to get to the right minute. There it is. Another company got the rights to distribute it in the United States. Now, when they brought it in, they were still offering it at a certain price, but what happened was is the shipping prices went up. Oh, thanks, Ringo. You're gonna come back with me because I'm gonna go fill this full of water, so I can keep on filling this tank. So what happened was is they bring the product in, and it's just too expensive to bring in unless I bring a pallet in. Now, when you bring a pallet in, you have to pay for the shipping for that pallet, and it just gets too expensive. So, and then Brightwell, they'll ship the boxes through UPS and stuff, and it's a great product out there to go and stuff. It's a great product out there to go over and carry, but it's just too expensive for the SL Aqua to get to my store. Now, when I order pallets from the company that has them, I will order some SL Aqua. It's just I didn't do it. Now, Brightwell is a great product out there too. Flip uses it. I use it. I got all these people like sending me messages and stuff now too. But I'm doing my live, so 1 second here. I know I'm getting kind of sidetracked. This is what happens is people start like calling me at certain times. Sorry about the noise. I got to fill this tank up. It's a great product though. I like using both actually. Black soil. If you like black soil, cool. Go with SL Aqua. If you like brown soil, go with Brightwell. SL Aqua doesn't make brown soil like that. How often do you feed your Carradinas? I already answered that. Hi, Crown Tail. How you doing? Just filling this tank. Hey, Joe. Store's looking good. Thank you, Papa Shrimp. I'm just trying to like answer, like look at all this like stuff as I'm scrolling. Wow, those Panda Loaches are awfully cute. They sure are. So when you have Panda Loaches, when they're juveniles, they're black and white. And then as they get bigger, guess what? They turn into this brown that a lot of people don't like. So just be aware on that one. So let me just bring this back in and get tanks filling and stuff. And then I got to respond. Give me 1 second to flip this thing over and just answer this. My wholesaler, he's bringing fish. So give me 1 second. There. So I try and answer everybody's like questions, and the thing is a lot of people end up sending me messages or calling like, hey, I got some questions on this too. You know, when you call Joe's Shrimp Shack, you know, you're not going to like a landline and stuff. You're going straight to my cell phone. So when I'm doing a live, it's on here, and some people do it as a joke and stuff, and it's like, whatever, it's just, you go to voicemail. So, all right, so we're filling these other tanks. The loaches are beautiful. Thank you. Okay, it's okay. I can find brown fish cute too. Everybody can find brown fish cute too. Let me just put this back in here. Cool, watch this. Boom! Bright lights! It's my ring lights. All right, so we got that. Let me check the TDS in these other tanks right here. That can't be right. It says 38, which I know it's not 38. 142. Let me try and mix this up. That might be why, because I didn't mix these up. Let me actually, since I put food in them, let me mix this all up. Kind of get the food to drop on the bottom so the bacteria starts eating away at it. Look at the long hair. That ain't my hair. I'll tell you that right now. Look at this. Long hair. That ain't mine. Let me check it out. Still says 35. Did I skip this tank, guys? Well, that one says 30. Let me just. All right, try this again. 116, 37. So let me shake this up a little more. Maybe all the minerals need to get mixed around after it's sat there for a while. Okay, 35. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. $93. Give me a second, guys. Let me get these all pinpointed to how I want them. 81, 82. Let's get this going. Get this water over here going. So yeah, it's consistent. It's all about having consistent water. So if I keep all my water at a certain spectrum, it's easy for me to go over and maintain them. 120, 122. So it's fluctuating, let it kind of dissolve. That's sitting at 111. That one's sitting at 124, 126. Let me give one pump on this one. 116, get another pump on this one. So it's a matter of this is how I do it. It's kind of time consuming, but guess what? It works. It works for me at least. Is there a lot of ways to do it? Yeah, 100%. Mix it around. So it's 130, and we keep on mixing around, see if it breaks down. We're gonna find out once I go over and plug the air filtration in. I start putting the air in and start circulating it. It's gonna get circulated. Now if there's too much minerals in there, I just take some water out, put straight RO into it. There's no shrimp going in it today anyway, so. But let me see if there's any more questions. Go back here. Okay, it's okay. I get a little brown fish too. Definitely. So yeah. So that's using the bright wall method and the portobio way. See now, like when I read this, now it's saying it's 220. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you. It's saying 222. Oh, I see what it is. That's the temperature. I hit the wrong button. Shut it off. I hit the wrong button, and I hit the Celsius button. All right, 127. 140, it's a little high. I'll just add some RO water in there. So, and then it's a little high, so I'm going to add a little bit of RO water. The tank isn't full. Oh, let me turn this a little bit so you guys can kind of see me. Made it smoothest. There we go. All right, so let me just keep on going down the line. 94. Get a couple pumps in that one. Fill this tank right here, check this back out, mix it up. I feel like I'm making concoctions. 134, I'm happy with 134. 106, 109. One more pump. Add a little bit more over here. 130. I'm just going to kind of top it out because the tank's got to look full anyway. So perfect. Get this back over here. Get this going. Level off my soil. 125. Perfect. So we gotta wait for this one tank to fill. So, but let's see here. Need to set up my shrimp game seriously. Let's do this. Oh, step up. Sorry. Let's do this, Victoria. I'm here to help you. I'm just 2 states away from you. Trevor, do you have any tips in keeping Carradina tank cooler during the summer besides just turning up the AC? That is 100%. I'll show you in a second. Let me get this tank full, and I'll show you what. Actually, it's going to take a while. I'm going to show you a product. 1 second here. There's a lot of products out there. So a lot of people say, hey, go take a water bottle, drop it in your freezer, let it freeze, and put it in there. Yeah, don't do that. It fluctuates the temperature too much. There's products out there, and I do believe I have. There it is. I do believe I have it on my website. All right. It's made by JBJ. It's called the Sea Breeze Nano. So this goes on the top of your tank, and it actually blows nice, cool air over it. So it does cool down the temperature. Now, when we were down in Florida at Global Pet Expo, that's what we used. And it's ranked up to a 40-gallon aquarium. So this works really well. It's got an on-off switch on there. You just put it right on your tank, and it blows cool air over it, and it cools it down. I would not go over and drop frozen water jugs in there. It just fluctuates the water. I just wouldn't. All right. So it's called the Sea Breeze by JBJ. I do believe I have it on my website. Thanks, Monster Fish Gal, for posting all my links. So let me go back to hanging this back up here. And then what I need to do is I need to get my drill, and I need to go over and get my air lines going. So unfortunately, I have to go elsewhere to get my drill, so I can't go over and show you guys what I'm doing on this one for that. But I know I got fish coming today, and I know I have plants coming today. So I think what happened is when I set it down, it kind of, all the minerals settle down, so I need to shake it up more. 120, and of course it's going to go down as I add water, so let's get a couple more squirts just so I don't have to keep on doing it. All right, so again, guys, I'm going to tell you my water parameters I put my Carradinas at. So the pH, this is going to buffer down overnight. Never worry about when you first put water in there. It's going to buffer down overnight. It's mid-6s that I have my pH. And what happens is my GH is 4 to 5 with no KH in there. That is what you need, is no KH. Now, if you use it, I use a TDS meter, so it's 115 to 130. If you use that API GH/KH test kit, of course, when you're testing for KH, if you put a drop in there, that's counted as 1. So then you say, well, no, my KH is 1. No, technically it's 0 because you have to put a drop in there to get a reading. So it's actually 0 to 1 on there. That's why some people say, hey, yeah, you can have Carradinas 0 to 1. It doesn't mean you have 1. It just means that you took 1 drop to do it. A lot of us just go by TDS meters. It's a convenience. Like, look how many tanks I was able to do with just this. Yes, I can go get the master test kit. Does not have it in there, so you have to buy the GH/KH one. And then what happens is you got to constantly. So all these times that I added minerals in there, I'd have to empty it out, clean it, and then retest over versus just using a TDS meter. It's a convenience factor, guys. Convenience. If you start having this many tanks, it's a convenience thing. Let's see here. I love how you have, the wood displayed against the black ceiling. Oh, dude, I got pictures of Jeremy spraying it. It was so funny. But yeah, it's. I used to have all my wood in boxes and stuff where people could pick through it. What happened is people would break branches. So by hanging it off the ceiling with the price tag, guess what? It's so convenient. People like it. They can pick out what they want. Hey, Jerome. Jeremy, let's see. I hate the master test kit with the passion. Hey, guess what? It works. I mean, if you want to test nitrate, nitrite, and ammonia and stuff, it works, man. I mean, you can't be mad at it. The test strips are not accurate. The thing is when we say, hey, have a GH of 4 to 5, it's because we're using the liquid version. We're not listing the dipstick method that is however million parts per whatever. I just don't do that. All right. Hi to everybody. Can all the Neocaridina colors breed together like green jades and orange? No, you cannot. So when you start breeding Neocardinas, when you start mixing different Davidii colors, it's like mixing paint. You mix orange and green, you're gonna get brown. You mix red and green, you're gonna get brown. It's like mixing paint. Everything goes back to brown. Now there's different types of Neocaridines. You got Palamitos, Davidii. You have the Z one, which is about that long. It has like 3. I can never pronounce it. Look into that. The thing is, you can have other shrimp in the tank besides, let's say, green jade. I mean, you can do a zebra babooti, which is zebra babooti is a Carradina shrimp, but it's kept the Neocaridina parameters. There's other Carradinas that have the Tiger genetics that do like neoparameters in there. You have the Palomito shrimp that you can put with, you know, that's a whole entire different episode. There is the Sea Breeze link. Thank you, Monster Fish. I love you on that one. It's never really worked for me personally. I'm colorblind, even with my wife's help, who's not colorblind. People always tell me my tests are wrong. If you are colorblind, I'll tell you this right now. If you're colorblind, the API test kit is not your thing. You're better off going to meters, because then you can actually read the meters and everything else. That's why I always tell people, like, when they're like, hey, Joe, can I buy this master test kit? Or blah, I'm like, are you colorblind? If you're colorblind, it's not going to work for you. All right. All right, so I'm going to end up going over to my buddy's place and we'll get the drill gun so I can get all these lines drilled and then I have fish coming, and then I have plants coming. So I got a lot of things coming today. Tomorrow is going to be my reveal, not the grand opening, but my reveal. You know, got a barbecue going. So come, if you guys are out in the area, come swing in and get it. My hours be normal after that, 12 to 5, closed on Mondays. So guys, I love you. I hope you have a shrimptastic day. I will check at you guys. Oh yeah, serious question. Okay, what's your question? How much do you think I should offer Dean to come back and help me build my new fish room? Here's the thing. I like going over and doing my own projects. So the thing is like, it's nice doing your own projects and having friends help you, but at the end game, you know what you want. So I would just do it yourself and have someone help you and stuff versus just, I mean, yeah, I've set up other people's fish rooms before and stuff to how they want it, but part of the fun is like doing it yourself. But yeah, so guys, I love you guys. Have a shrimptastic day, and we'll catch you guys a little bit later. I will be doing another live tomorrow at the store and everything. So guys, I love you. Have fun. Talk to you guys later.